Hi, I'm Matt Klein, and today at my house we're going to be talking about coal, its effects, and its uses on the people of the future. Today's episode is brought to you by the Wilmington Coal Company and viewers like you. Hey man, come inside my house. I want to tell you about coal. Here, come on. I want to tell you all about coal. Coal is very interesting because it's used for almost all the energy in the entire world. And by almost all, I mean probably about 50% of all the electricity used in the United States. Here, follow me. Coal seems all bad right now, but the really interesting thing with coal is how bad it used to be. Compared to the 1970s, we've actually cut the amount of particulates and pollutants coming out of our power plants by 90%. How crazy is that? Can you imagine how far we can go in the future? Speaking of the future, have you ever heard of something called a vacuum cleaner? 60% of all new coal plants in the United States now use something called a scrubber, which works much like this vacuum cleaner. What they do is they cut all excess SO2 emissions from the plant, which stops sulfuric acid rain. Obviously, scrubbers in coal plants will help us make better use of coal in the future. But one thing that will really help us make better use of coal in the future is learning to use the byproducts and the waste products a lot better than we do right now. One of those things is called fly ash. And a fly ash usually is just dumped in a dump somewhere, not used for anything at all. But in the future and right now, one way that we can take care of this byproduct is just turning it into cement. It requires less energy and it's actually cheaper to make because no one wants fly ash. Now that's what I call a home run. Another really interesting waste product of coal is something called activated carbon. There's a couple of really good uses for this. One of these uses is water purification, another is air purification. The last one, of course, is a use in a kidney dialysis machine. Another really interesting thing that is a waste product of coal burning is something called carbon fiber. This is a really lightweight material used mostly in construction and in lightweight materials, kind of like a mountain bike, I guess. Silicon metal is another waste product of coal burning. This is used for things like silicones and silanes. These are the things that make your toothpaste, as well as your shampoo, and any other assortment of name brand and generic brand items. Speaking of generic brand items, how about this word from our sponsors?
Smoke blows into these electrostatic precipitators. Toxic particles cling to these metal plates like fridge magnets as the smoke passes through. But that filtered smoke still contains sulfur, the culprit in acid rain. So, before it's sent to the smokestack, it's cleaned again. Every week, 10,000 tons of limestone is crushed into powder and mixed with water to form a slurry in this giant blender. When smoke is pumped through the slurry, sulfur is chemically locked into it. The resulting combo makes 750,000 tons of gypsum every year. The stuff that makes drywall and plasterboard. 36,000 tons of coal burnt up in a day, recovering most of its toxic emissions. This machine has always been powerful, but recent innovations have turned it into one of the cleanest plants of its size in the world.
Hi, welcome back from that wonderful commercial break by the good people at Generic Brand Coal. And now I'm going to be talking to a good colleague of mine. His name is Terrence Freeman, and we'll be talking about the future of coal and ways we can use it in the future to create a more sustainable planet. So it says here you and your people at the Wilmington Coal Company are using chemical looping. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
I can, yeah. In fact, what actually happens with chemical looping is we don't react coal burning with oxygen, more so we react it with iron oxide, which then produces kind of a pure stream of carbon dioxide and iron metal, which is later burned to produce electricity. So it's a pure form of electricity, and that carbon dioxide can get stored right into the ground, which is good for the environment.
Is carbon dioxide being shot directly into the ground really good for the environment?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is.
Are you sure?
Better than the alternatives, I'll tell you that much.
Can you talk about some of the alternatives for a little while?
Now, the alternatives I'm not too familiar with.
So, you're just kind of saying it's better. Isn't one alternative like shooting it into the air?
Yeah, that is an alternative, and it's better than that. It's definitely better than putting that kind of carbon dioxide into the air, which kind of, perpetuates the greenhouse effect. Instead, we kind of put it into the ground, which is better.
Alright, so thank you for joining us on satellite, and just come on over and say goodbye.
Yeah, alright, perfect.
It was great to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. And finally today we're going to be talking about some other stuff. We're going to be talking about certain things about the future and certain things about the past, but right after this commercial break. Wait! I don't think we have another commercial break.
Right after this commercial break.
So we had a great day today in my house, just learning about coal and its effects on the future and the way that it will be used in the future. Alright, so here you go. Come on, get out. Get out. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. Bye. Go on.
Listen, boy, I don't wanna see you let a good thing slip away. You know I don't like watching anybody make the same mistakes I made. She's a real